man who asks you out to coffee, say no. No.
The highly debated coffee date. So why exactly should a woman say no to a coffee date?
Don't let him take you out unless he can pay for a full meal for you.
Contrary to what some women out there believe, most guys that ask a woman out on a date can actually afford a full meal. However, let me ask, what exactly is a full meal going to get you in regards to getting to know that person that you won't get on a coffee date?
Coffee dates are a cheap way to get out of a real date, and real men don't do that. So, say no.
Well, after hearing that, I just have an observation that I would like to make. I honestly believe that some women, especially those that agree with these types of videos, for one, can't define what a real date is, or in fact know what the purpose of dating even is anymore. And most importantly, I think those very same women couldn't define what a real man is if they actually had to.
I would never date a broke man.
There really are a lot of arrogant individuals out there that truly believe that a lot of people really care who they would date.
That is so fucking pathetic as a man to be broke. That is your one job, to provide and protect.
Well, actually, that would be 2 jobs, but I digress.
And you're gonna let me pay for anything around you? No.
Wow, there are some really entitled women out there. And believe it or not, they're not necessarily talking about someone that they're in a relationship with.
I would not even be friends with a guy who makes me pay for stuff.
Oh yeah, some women feel entitled to leech off of their male friends as well.
You're a man, bro. And you're gonna watch a girl buy a coffee in front of you? You don't have $7? Like, no.
Like, yes, he should. Because it's just my opinion, but unless, of course, a woman is married to a man, that man doesn't have any financial obligation to her whatsoever. And I really feel sorry for women who think like this, because they're the very same ones who wonder why they don't get more respect from men. The education system has failed a great many individuals again. Because believe it or not, there are a great many women as well as men that actually would consider that to be what is known as a gotcha moment. Because they foolishly believe, and very naively, I might add, that the only true danger to women in this world is men. And that that's the only thing that women ultimately need protection from. Because men are the most dangerous thing in this world. It's really unfortunate that a great many more people aren't more educated on reality, or else they would actually know that there are a great many truly diabolical women in this world. But then again, I can see why they wouldn't want to bring up that subject, because after all, without men around, women would be perfectly fine taking care of themselves, because nothing would ever bother them again. How nice it must be to be so deluded.
You know, modern women, they really don't think that they're capable of being dangerous. They really don't think that. They really think that their attitudes are always in check. And even when their attitudes aren't in check, they can explain it away, and it wouldn't have happened if this didn't happen, and I would have been just fine if X, Y, and Z didn't happen. They really do have a knack for not taking accountability for how they show up in relationships, the things that they do to other people. I'm telling you right now, there was a question asked in one of these videos: would you be able to live on an island with just women, a planet, world, wherever? And a lot of women, straight off the bat, right out the gate, said, yeah, I could do that. Now, some of them paused and they had to talk themselves into it. They were like, so there's going to be no men? Like, can we at least have a man come in maybe once or twice a month or something like that? I don't know if I can do no men at all. We'd have to have some men come in here and there. Basically, it sounds like what you're saying, even in that, and I appreciate that, by the way, but what it sounds like, even when you're saying that, is, well, we need men for various tasks, but really, honestly and truly, we need the D. That's what you're saying. We need the D. These toys are fine, but we need certain things from them that you just can't replace. I don't feel like replacing. And that's the end of it. But these modern women, they're going to get to the point to where they are angry at each other for not taking accountability. You stole my stuff. And because emotions are just going to take over, they're just going to start swinging on each other. Right. And now you have to have friends that back up friends. And because Haley agreed with Janice, now Sarah and Jessica kind of got it. Boy, I see what Sarah was talking about. No. But, Janice was correct in that. And now you got to divide. Right. And for modern women, it ripples. It's going to ripple all the way down until you have one side versus another side. And that's just the beginning of it. That's just two people, to be honest. That's just two sides of the coin. What happens when Jessica and Sarah get into a disagreement? And then Sarah goes back over and starts talking with Janice. Now you got divisions. Now you might have 4 or 5 divisions. Oh, I'm going to go live over here. There's plenty of room. And then you're going to keep on doing that until everybody splits. And then Janice is going to say, no, I used to live over there. I'm going back over to Sarah's house and I'm taking my stuff. And Sarah said, no, you're not. You come up in here, we're going to have a problem. Huh? How you going to handle that problem? By any means necessary. Somebody's going to step up, maybe Jessica, maybe Marissa, and they're going to say, well, maybe we should handle it a little bit differently. Let's create some rules and bylaws in order to handle this. And that's when you have the law. And Sarah is going to decide, shut up, Marissa. I don't want to hear nothing about that. And she's going to go over to Janice's house or vice versa. And she's going to try to force her way into her house. And Marissa's going to say, Janice and Sarah just not going to follow the laws that we asked them to follow. Let's get a unit together to make sure these laws are being enforced by physical barriers. And Sarah and Janice are not even going to listen to the physical barriers because they're going to keep on talking because they're mad. And emotions going to take over. And they're going to keep on fighting. And as a matter of fact, Marissa's going to come over there. And Marissa's going to say, you guys need to break it up. Bring in the crew. And Sarah and Janice going to turn around and start fighting the crew. And they're going to bring their friends and say, no, we're not tolerating your little stupid crew. Get the heck out of my face. Your little enforcement or whatever. And so Marissa say, I can handle that. Let's go into the forest and see if we can get a couple of muscles. We get a little bit more muscle, a couple of tools in order to help us understand or help Sarah and Janice understand that we're not playing no more. And over time, those tools get sophisticated so that Sarah and Janice don't even come within 10 feet of Marissa and the crew. And suddenly, it looks like you have a city. And suddenly, after a while, that city looks like something similar to what a man built. Godspeed.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Stand a little taller.
I suppose a lot of you are wondering the exact same thing right now. Why didn't they see any men yesterday posting about International Men's Day, about the issues that men specifically face every single day? Well, I can assure you there's a very good reason. For instance, today happens to be November 5th, and International Men's Day happens to be on November 19th.
Ask a man what a good woman is.
Does anyone out there think that this individual has the slightest clue at all of what men actually think? Well, let's find out.
And watch him describe a maid with model looks.
Oof. Now that was just embarrassing. Believe it or not, though, that was actually a very good example of showcasing how a lot of women actually think, and they believe that a lot of men really think that way. Unfortunately, and quite obviously, they're not actually talking to men to get these sorts of opinions and to reinforce them. No, they're actually having most of these conversations with other women and from the echo chambers that they create for themselves on social media. But heaven forbid if they ever actually had a meaningful conversation or dialogue with a lot of men, they would realize that no, men aren't looking for a maid with model looks. Most men are actually looking for someone who's going to be there to support them, a partner, and someone to share their life with. Really? Very interesting. Or actually, I should rather go with sad. But believe it or not, and I know this will come as a complete shock to a lot of you, but there are actually quite a few individuals that actually agree with that rather disgusting opinion. And even more shockingly, they actually believe that they are on the what is called the right side of history for believing that by virtue of what a person happens to look like, what their gender happens to be, in addition to their orientation, that they should actually not be allowed to speak. How very progressive. And it's really depressing to think that there are actually people out there that believe that they are good people for thinking this. But in case anyone was wondering, and has been seen here, bigotry knows no bounds. Any person can be bigoted to anyone else.
Patriarchy doesn't exist because elites think men are better.
Okay, enlighten us. Why then does the patriarchy exist?
The people in power know men are idiots.
What?
They're violent toddlers in which 99% of them think in a hive mind.
Well, at least they didn't say all men, right? Just 99%. Why is it those individuals that seem to know the least about certain subjects often want to talk the most about them?
Submissive, evilly controllable. Elites know this. The people who run the world whose names you don't even know this.
I'm actually impressed that they managed to say all of that with a straight face. And we're not going to listen to the rest of the 7-minute video. But if they think that men are the ones that are easily controlled, apparently they need to become better acquainted with their fellow misandrists who happen to be convinced that all men are bad, go about doing nothing but disparaging and despising men, and then will have the actual foolishness to actually claim that they are feminists.
If you're mean to a man and that man chooses to be with you, that man is for life.
What women like this really mean is that they found a man that they want to keep around because he has no self-esteem and no backbone.
So bully your man.
Please, allow me to be blunt. But in my experience, those individuals who are bullies are some of the weakest and indeed the saddest individuals to walk this earth. And that goes for women as well as men. Because they oftentimes feel so terribly about themselves that they try to find others that they perceive as weaker than them that they can pick on and harass in order so they can feel better about themselves. And just a gentle reminder, if you're in a relationship with anyone who mistreats you verbally or physically, you deserve better. Don't stay in a relationship with someone who is mean to you simply because you're afraid to be alone. You deserve so much better. And messages like this are actually quite sad because they perpetuate verbal abuse towards men and try to pass it off as some kind of a joke.
If you do not have money as a man, what is your worth?
Are they actually trying to imply that unless a man has a certain amount of money, that he doesn't have any basic value as a person? Unfortunately, a lot of individuals, namely a lot of women that seem to have this opinion, seem to forget that every single person is valuable and has value.
And I'm asking this as a genuine question.
And that is the saddest part.
Women literally hold the portal to life between our legs, and whether we decide to use it or not, or have the ability to use it or not, it's still there, and that's why women will always be worth what we are.
Some women really seem to like to forget that in order for that portal to life to actually produce life, they actually need the contribution of a man. Otherwise, it's just an empty incubator.
But as a man, if you cannot protect your family, provide for your family, give abundance to your family of wealth and happiness, what are you worth?
Do you think they realize that there are actually places in this world where everyone lives in extreme poverty, and providing for a family and providing luxury is something that many individuals actually dream of? But then again, there are those out there that actually think that a person's worth is ultimately dependent on what they can do for another person. Unfortunately, a lot of individuals don't see the inherent value that every single person has.
Okay, can we start making Instacart for gas?
No. And contrary to what's written on the screen, someone is not just a girl. Someone is a full-grown adult woman and perfectly capable of pumping their own gas. But if a person is lazy, just say so. Or rather, they actually do in the next part.
Because I'm at literally 0 miles pulling into the gas station right now before I go to the gym.
See what I mean?
This just isn't my job. This is not the job for me. This is somebody else's job. It's not mine.
You know what I wish? I wish that a lot of these very entitled, selfish, lazy women who actually believe in gender roles, but only in so much that it serves their purpose, would actually stop embarrassing the rest of us women and making the entire population of women look bad.
So let's say you need to get your tank filled up, because a lot of these modern women run their tank until it's completely empty. It's bare empty. I could see an economy for that. An economy where they get exploited. I'll tell you what, most of these modern women are going to run their tank completely empty. You could charge a fee for that. If it's on empty, that's going to be a fee, because it should be at least enough to get me to the gas station. And we're going to measure that. Then if I run out of gas, that's going to be a fee, right? And then you might get docked on your rating. Who knows? We're still working out the details on that. But to fill up your tank, it's going to be a $15 fee. So if your tank takes $30 and you're going to leave it on E, you're going to have to pay that $30 that's going to come out of your pocket, plus the $15 to fill it up, plus the tip. Maybe, I don't know, $10 to come get it should suffice. So I just made at least $25 coming to pick up your car and to fill it up. Number one. Number two, if you decide that you're just not going to fill up your car and you're going to leave it on empty, that's going to be a $10 fee right there. Maybe five. I don't know if we could continue to jump up on all these fees, right? But then also, like I said, if the car runs out of gas, $25 fee for the inconvenience. So I could see this being a pretty lucrative market. I'm standing here trying to figure out what other fees there could be. Maybe a fee for premium. And I know the gas stations are probably going to raise their prices or put a little price increase in there as well. If you use a debit card or a bank, that's a lower convenience fee. But if you use a credit card, that's going to be a higher convenience fee. We can have them pay for priority. Like I come straight to you and I can deliver your car back to you within an hour. That's going to be an extra $4. I don't see a problem with this. If they want to be lazy, you charge them for their laziness.
Why are we dating men who are confused about us?
Well, that's a very good question. I don't know why anyone would want to date another person who's confused about what the other person wants in a relationship. Although, most likely in these cases, if the guy is confused, it is most likely because someone didn't communicate effectively and expects the guy to understand what they mean by simply dropping hints instead of being direct. Well, on that note, we will have to disagree, because a lot of women don't bring anything to the table except what they look like. And when we say bringing stuff to the table, that doesn't necessarily mean money. That means attributes from a person's personality that actually makes them a good partner. So yes, indeed, what do a lot of women bring to the table?
They don't know what they want. You should not want them. No more confusion.
I would actually argue that most guys usually do know what they want, but it takes effective communication in order for two people to be able to understand if they want to be with each other. That's the part that a lot of women are missing.
Why do you guys think that calling us pretty or complimenting our physical looks by saying we're pretty, beautiful, whatever, cute even, is a compliment?
Perhaps because it is, but I understand a lot of individuals use words that they don't know the meanings of. So what is the definition of a compliment? It is a polite expression of praise or admiration.
Because it's not. I've been called cute since I was 5 years old. So I'm 25 now. For the past 20 years, I've been called cute and pretty and whatever. That's not a compliment anymore. That's just a blatant fact that everyone can literally see.
Well, this might hurt some feelings, but oh well. But I think it's time for some individuals to realize that not every person finds the same things attractive in every person.
Anybody with fucking 2 eyes Well, I mean, unless you're blind, which, my bad. But like people who can see that I'm pretty. They can see that I'm cute, whatever you want to call it.
I didn't think that I would have to point this part out, but apparently some need to hear it. A person can be as attractive as they believe themselves to be, but if they don't have a good personality, that automatically takes them down to 0.
I like that's the reason some of you guys even compliment us and say the bare minimum of compliments of like you're pretty, you're cute, is because you just want the ego feeling of feeling above somebody when they say thank you.
You can't make this stuff up. Some actually think that it's giving another person an ego boost to say thank you for a compliment. Well, don't worry, and this will bring some of you a lot of comfort. Eventually, those compliments will stop.
I mean, maybe because y'all use those words to describe each other. That's so cute, girl. Oh, that's a cute top. That's a nice outfit. Oh, she is so beautiful. She's gorgeous. Oh, she's just stunning. So if a man says, oh, well, maybe that's the lingo that they use, and it seems like they're responding well to it. If I feel that about a woman, maybe I can say that to her as well. But all of a sudden now, when a man compliments you in the same way that your friends do, that's a problem. That's weird.
Just imagine how wonderful it would be to be in a relationship with someone whose continued love and affection was contingent upon how much you continued to financially support them.
Men, I think what you have confused is that as a woman, I don't need you any longer.
What is there to be confused about? Most men understand that women don't actually need men in their lives, but a lot of individuals don't understand the difference between need and want.
Like up until the 70s, I needed you to get a credit card. Up until recently, I needed you to have a baby.
The most terrifying part is there are a lot of women out there that actually do believe that they don't need a male's contribution to get pregnant.
I don't need you anymore. You don't complete me. Like Jerry Maguire said, I am complete by myself.
If someone is so complete, why talk so much about something that a person doesn't need unless they want it?
So when I say you have to earn me, it's that you have to earn the right to receive my time, my beauty, my femininity, my softness. Like I'm an add value to you more than you're an add value to me.
Add value. Speaking as if people are nothing more than objects whose price goes up with the addition of accessories. And some women wonder why they get objectified when they seem to speak about themselves as if they are objects.
That's where I think you're getting confused on what we're saying, that it's not 50-50, it's 90-10, okay?
I foresee a lot of very lonely women in the future, mostly because those that think this way have not the faintest idea how relationships work in the first place. So I guess it's a good thing that they don't need men.
I'm here to remind men that giving compliments to women is just not enough anymore.
And here that used to be just the bare minimum to give a woman a compliment. But, in my opinion, I think we can blame social media for a lot of women just not even being able to hear compliments anymore because they receive so many of them from random strangers that they just don't even matter anymore.
I went to the gas station and this man was like, "You're so beautiful." And I just looked at him like, mm-hmm. And I just kept on going.
See what I mean?
So I come back out trying to pump my gas and he's waiting for me. And he's like, "Did you hear me? I said you're so beautiful." And I'm like, "Well, if you think I'm so beautiful, then why didn't you pay for my gas?" And let me tell you, I got my gas paid.
Sadly, that really does seem to be what some women are expecting now. One could go so far as to say that they are expecting what a person could call wife treatment from a guy that they haven't even become properly acquainted with just so that he can get her attention. And sadly, this seems to be pushed by a lot of women on social media. But ironically, some of those very same women are the ones that are wondering to themselves, why are there so many guys out there that seem to have such an aversion to dating?
Men cannot accept that women are single by choice because most men are not single by choice.
What type of men exactly are they talking to? Because most of the guys that I know that are single are happily so.
And I'm sure I'll have many men in the comments being like, "I'm single by choice." No, you're not.
Why? Because it's inconceivable to some that a lot of men's standards are too high to date a lot of the women that they meet out there?
Most women are single by choice because getting a man is the absolute easiest thing to get.
I wonder if they know that getting a man and then keeping a man are two different things.
Men don't want to believe that, but guess what? Y'all are easy.
I've often found that it takes experts in those particular matters to recognize it in others.
On the other side of the coin, women are mostly difficult to get, okay? And especially now in 2025, women have standards that most men do not ever plan on reaching. And if they do, it is usually a temporary fix until the mask falls.
That might have something to do with the fact that almost every woman out there considers herself to be a 10 out of 10 and expects their man to also be a 10 out of 10. Quite frankly, a lot of women have unrealistic expectations.
I think a lot of these women think that men are suffering without their presence. I think some of these modern women think that they're so important that a man just can't live without them. And so they think the longer they go, they're making a man suffer. I've taken myself out of the dating market. You guys, you're really going to miss me. I'm a catch. And the fact that I'm taking myself out of the market, I'm leaving now. I know you guys want me, but a joke. A lot of these modern women are a joke. I know you're looking for me, but I won't be here. And no matter what you say, I'm not dating any of you.
To be real, it's too many males on planet Earth, and that's why there's so much hatred and vitriol towards women.
And silly me, here I thought it was a combination of a lack of education and willful ignorance on the part of some men as well as some women.
Because it's too much of them. Really think about this.
I'm sure we'll try.
Patriarchal society makes women believe that we are only good for being wives and mothers. So it directly ties our femininity and womanhood to having children, even though there are so many unlimited forms of feminine expression.
Uh-huh. And this directly correlates to the problem being an overpopulation of men. How?
But when males have exploited our ability to create people, you get more people on planet Earth than what it's supposed to be. Therefore, you have a bunch of entitled men who have to compete with each other, and they're really mad at the system that created them, but they have no choice but to blame women.
All right, now let me ask a question. What exactly do circular arguments like the one that we've just seen demonstrated actually accomplish? Because it does nothing to offering up a solution as to why women still face misogyny. Because, as I said, the real root causes behind misogyny in this world, as well as any kind of prejudice or discrimination, would be a lack of education in combination with willful ignorance. So I'm going to ask, for those that jump on the bandwagon of arguments like the one that we've just seen, what exactly is the solution to overcoming those problems?
I don't think that men should be allowed to use weightlifting gloves in the gym.
Any particular reason why? Or should we just add that to the list of things that guys shouldn't be doing because some random woman says so?
Take off the hand thong. You're lifting 50 pounds.
Okay.
And I do understand that you're really concerned about keeping your hands soft to like jerk off your friend or whatever. You'll be okay. Take it off.
Okay. Allow me to be rather blunt. And for those whose delicate sensibilities I am about to offend, I would apologize, but I'm not one little bit sorry because most likely you are in the audience that I am actually addressing at this moment. So let me ask a question, because I'm frankly sick of seeing this particular little narrative of women seeming to think that it's cute or even remotely acceptable to be homophobic and try to shame men into getting them to do what you want by insinuating that they're not straight because of the things that they do. So the question is, when exactly did you think that being a bigot was something that was remotely acceptable at this point in time? Really? Some of you really need to grow up, because if a guy doesn't do something that you like, perhaps just communicate that using words instead of trying to use shaming tactics.
If you make more money than the average person, then you should use that wealth to help people that don't make as much money as you.
They're not talking about good works or charities, which a lot of people do. No, they're talking about something else entirely.
Because really, what are you using all of that money for? Because yeah, you can have generational wealth, but you can't create generational wealth if only one generation is cooking.
Essentially, they're stating that if a person has a better job and makes more money than another person, then the person that does make more money should share their excess with that person that isn't as fortunate to have such a good job. Yeah, no. No other person is entitled to another person's earnings.
Generational wealth is supposed to be generations that get to receive abundance because we all work together.
Yeah, no, that is not how that works, but continue.
So if we aren't sharing and being considerate, then that's, kind of why we're in the predicaments we're in.
Interesting. Well, it is an admirable quality when individuals who are fortunate enough to be wealthy do assist those that are less fortunate than them. I will never change my mind when I say that just because you don't make enough money does not mean that you are entitled to someone else's money who has worked hard to earn theirs. I really hope that some of these ladies really do like being single, because asking someone to spend $30,000 or round and about approximately what some people make in a year on a piece of jewelry, yeah, that would be considered an unrealistically high expectation. Enjoy being single, ladies.
Whenever you're dealing with a man, please keep in mind if they want to play, they have to pay.
There's actually a word for that, and it's not dating.
And if they're low on funds, they can't have no fun.
Let's think about this. What exactly is the term for charging someone for certain activities? I'm sure if we think about it really hard, we can all think of it.
Stop being so nice to them. They are not nice people. They're only being nice so that they can gain access to you and your holes.
Oh, how classy. Almost as classy as charging men for access.
They are the fakest creatures on this earth. They are liars. They are manipulators. It's literally encoded in their DNA.
Encoded in their DNA. Is it now? Just a question. They still teach biology in school, right? Has that turned into a class that individuals don't have to pass to graduate?
And please just keep in mind whenever you're dealing with them that you are in there to get something out of the deal, because I guarantee you they are not leaving empty-handed.
Ever wonder why so many guys choose to remain single? Well, it's because a lot of women actually agree with these types of statements.
Women say they're happy without a man because they can't get a man, they can't keep a man.
Excuse me? What?
Those are the women talking about stuff. Oh yeah, I'm 50, I don't need no man, I'm happy, I've never been so happy in my life. It's because you can't get a man or you can't keep a man, sis.
You know, repeating something over and over again doesn't make it true. But I would like to point out that there are lots of women, as well as men, that are, in fact, perfectly happy being single. And just because they're single doesn't mean that they can't get into a relationship. Where do individuals come up with these ideas?
So, and the other women hyping her up. Oh yeah, women are happier now. Women are happier now. You know how happy we are with our dogs? You know how happy we are with no responsibility and no man, trying to touch us and talk to us? It sounds gay. I'm sorry, but it sounds gay.
That sounded rather uneducated, but I digress.
If men walked around and said, you know how happy we are, bro, without women trying to touch us and love up on us and be up in our face, bro, I've never been happier. That's so gay.
But at least they're attacking both genders.
That is literally gay, 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 gay.
It sounds like someone's just a little bit prejudiced.
I think I have her on TikTok or something like that, or one of these social media platforms. She's pretty funny. She's pretty hilarious. I think her thing is saying things that are super outrageous and just going flat off. To me, she's funny.
The male gender is going extinct.
Well, there goes the species, I guess.
They were impossible not to admire, I mean, they used to go to war. They were providers, protectors. But that was kind of a long time ago.
Has someone been living under a rock? Because a lot of men still do all of those things.
Because now they're posting fit checks and skincare routines. So many traits that were once labeled as feminine are now commonly found in men. So, what happened?
Oh, well, that's easy. Quite frankly, a lot of women got exactly what they asked for when it comes to how some men currently behave. Because there was a belief, and it's still held by some, that masculinity itself was toxic. And unfortunately, that belief came about because some individuals who acted in a traditional masculine manner had some toxic behaviors. Therefore, it made sense, due to a lack of critical thinking skills on the parts of some, that all of masculinity was toxic. So if a person is asking why some men aren't acting in such a masculine manner as they used to, well, it's because women didn't want them to.
I don't know what's in the water. I don't know what they're eating. But this has to stop. Is there a petition that can be signed, something that can be said, where women can stop saying this stuff online? And these are the type of women that want men to protect them, to provide for them, to take them seriously. These are the women that tout their education, but this is what we get.
You guys come for me, I don't care. I'd rather be a side chick.
Just gets classier and classier.
And I'm about to tell you guys why I'd rather be a side chick, okay? Because you will never see me. You will never see me doing the most for a fucking guy. As far as cleaning, doing his fucking laundry, cooking for him. God forbid I gave this man a kid.
Who's gonna tell them that those things aren't requirements for being in a relationship? But if someone would rather be a side piece, well then by all means.
Eventually, ladies, your man's gonna play you. And eventually, if he gets tired of your ass, he's gonna leave you. That's just the way it works.
I imagine that is the usual experience of a side chick.
So why do you guys think it's a brilliant idea to do the fucking most for these men, especially giving a fucking man kids? Who told you guys this was fucking a brilliant idea?
I think the more important question would be, who actually convinced someone that being a cheating homewrecker was a good idea? I find that to be the more serious and pertinent question.
You guys are fucking dumb. I'm here to tell you, you guys are fucking dumb.
Was that the voice of experience speaking?
So I'm here to tell you, ladies, it's much better to be a side chick. 100%. And I will keep saying that.
Right. I can't really take the advice of someone seriously who obviously has no respect for not only the person they're in a relationship with, but more importantly, themselves.
You know, I gotta believe that this is a joke. I have to believe that. There's no other possible explanation for it. I refuse to believe that modern women are getting this far away from common sense with the things that they say. I just refuse to believe it. I really do.
The next man that enters my life, he is required to take me out on 3 dates before he gets a sleepover and before he gets my clothes off.
That's it? Just 3 dates, huh? That's all that it takes? And just imagine, there are some women out there that don't even wait that long before giving out sleepovers and taking off their clothes. It's no small wonder that some of these women are wondering why those men don't stick around.
Okay, I'm being so fucking for real right now because here's the thing. As soon as you spend the night with a man, not even doing anything, they stop asking you out on dates.
Gee, I wonder why.
Then, once you sleep with them, they don't want anything to fucking do with you anymore, which, like, whatever. I'm tired of men sexualizing me and objectifying me.
And who allowed that to happen?
Yeah, I've made it very easy for them to do that in the past, but, like, I'm done. I'm seriously fucking done. Like, hookup culture is fun for, like, 5 minutes. I miss connection. I miss connection. I miss feelings. I miss being yearned for. I miss yearning.
Then, might I recommend raising someone's standards to having it take more than just 3 dates?
I can't just keep getting obsessed with a man for a week or two and then moving on to the next one. It's too exhausting and it's honestly, like, mentally draining.
And does anyone know whose fault that is? Take a wild guess.
What happened to romance? I want romance!
Women who complain about that really only have one person to blame, and it's not the guy, because who can blame them for losing interest in someone who gives it up so easily?
Anyways, celibacy era is going great so far. So good.
It probably will, because there are some things that don't hold much value if it's given away so freely.
Do any other girls get offended when, like, ugly men try to approach you? I'm saying that with my full chest.
No. What a truly odd thing to be offended by. Just imagine being upset because someone found you attractive and actually had the confidence to approach you. I wonder how they deal with it every day. It must be awful. But if we've ever needed proof, shall we say, that there are lots of individuals out there that are very easily offended by the littlest and, might I say, the silliest of things, I think we've just seen it. Because most individuals do understand that attractiveness is subjective, and a person is never going to know if they themselves are up to another person's level unless they actually try. Because not every person finds the same things attractive in everyone else. Essentially, a person is going to miss 100% of the shots that they don't actually bother to take. So, there's no harm in trying, is there?
I think airplanes should change their policy to let women board first, ladies first, and then have men board after.
It's funny how so many women say that they want equality. That is, until the very moment that it doesn't benefit them somehow. And then their true colors come out, and it's really the case that they want more rights and more privileges than men.
And there's no group 1, group 2, group 6, or whatever. It's just ladies first, ladies get on board, they get settled, and then the men. I think that would be super classy.
That's not what I would call super classy. That is actually what I would call super sexist, and actually is an excellent example of what I'm talking about. Because individuals that are for this type of idea are rather implying that women are just simply not able to get settled in as quickly as men, or that women deserve special privileges simply for being women. So why do some women say that they want equality and then act like they want to be treated as better than men? You really can't have it both ways, although some certainly do try.
I'm so sick and fed up of men using the argument, it's not all men, it's not all men, so I'm going to draw this out for you.
Oh, good. A visual aid.
So at the bottom, we have the worst of the worst. We have rapists, pedophiles, murderers, you're in jail, you're a horrible person. We can all unanimously agree as a society these are very, 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 very bad people. Okay, that's bottom of the bottom. And then we have a little scale. And then at the top here, we have men who speak up for women, men who advocate for women, men who protect women, and men who confront all of the other men. That's where you're missing me.
So what they're saying, in order for a man to be considered in that top tier of men, they need to fall into all of those categories of speaking up for women, defending women, and condemning the actions of those bad men. But women have been telling men for years to leave them alone, to stay out of their business, not to speak for them, and that they don't need them. So what are men supposed to do, and who are they supposed to listen to?
I'm not saying it's a 50-50 scale of good and bad. I'm saying that this is a slow blended gradient between good and bad. And no matter where you fall on here, if you're not here, I don't like you.
Now they go on for another couple of minutes explaining how, indeed, most men are considered to be bad unless they fall into that top category. So essentially, if you're not the best, then you're the worst. It's really unfortunate that at this point in time, there are individuals that still try to justify their despising an entire group of people based on the actions of some. It's almost like there's a word for that.
You need to fucking calm down. Women will never walk past you or run past you and go, morning. Women don't do that. Women don't harass women. Only men harass women.
Gentlemen, I'm just going to say it. It really seems that men simply cannot win. Because now, according to some, if a man even says good morning to a woman, he's harassing her. You can't make this stuff up.
Well, this is old news, right? Because maybe about a month or so, maybe 2 months, if you can believe that, a man was talking about how he went into the store and he was trying to say hello to, just a woman and her child and say, hey, how's it going? Oh, well, when he comes up and when men talk to us, period, as a matter of fact, they need to give us $100. Are you paying for her groceries? Then we are not obligated to talk to men. We're not obligated to be social with you. Talking stupid. So this is just another extension of that. Modern women and the things that they say, it just gets stupider and stupider. I mean, courtesy. And really, honestly and truly, we can go back to men opening the door and a woman saying, I don't need that. Not even saying thank you. The show's talking about, I don't need your protection. Don't you come and protect me. When somebody hits you in your face and you fall straight over, do you want the man to walk by while you sitting on the ground darn near a seizure? Is that what you want? Okay, then shut up.
Women are the reason for 60% of divorces, and honestly, I believe it.
It's very true. Most divorces are, in fact, initiated by women.
Because men will ignore you for years and then act confused when you finally leave. Don't play dumb. She didn't wake up and decide she was done. She told you 1,000 times what was wrong, and you brush it off every single time.
Now, I understand that this post is supposed to be about how men are the problem in marriages, but a lot of individuals like to conveniently leave out the fact, and yes, it is a fact, that women married to women actually have the highest divorce rates of all. So is it really men that are the problem?
One thing about women, we'll stay until the very last straw. We'll explain it, we'll cry about it, we'll try to fix it, and you still sit there acting clueless.
Well, if that was actually true, then women married to women would actually have the longest lasting relationships, wouldn't they?
When she finally files, suddenly, it's, where did it come from? It came from you, not listening. That's why most women file for divorces.
Okay, sure. But in my opinion, a lot of women, not all, file for divorce because they simply aren't happy. And there's a lot of women that would rather just get divorced than work on the problem.
I just had 5 grown-ass men walk by, grown-ass, able-bodied men, walk by as I struggle to carry all of my shit and help this poor mother with 3 children carry her stroller down the stairs.
Well, contrary to what was written across that screen, I don't believe that there's anything at all wrong with most men. In fact, especially if a person pays attention to what some women post on social media, those gentlemen were doing exactly what a lot of those women have been asking men to do. Leave them alone. Don't approach them, and certainly don't talk to them. So why exactly would they be inclined to help some woman that they don't know, not knowing how exactly she's going to react to having those men approach her?
They just looked and kept walking. I'm literally like dropping my umbrella and everything. They just keep on walking.
And I cannot blame them for that, because they had no way of knowing how a strange woman would react to being approached by a strange man. Honestly, it's best that they just played it safe and kept their distance. But a lot of women really want to be treated as equals until they're treated the same way that a lot of men are.
When a man tells you that he thinks you're wifey material, what he's telling you is that he sees in you a good servant.
Right. Sadly, though, there are some women out there that genuinely believe this, and that would be because they have encountered that small minority of men that unfortunately do want their wives to be nothing more than servants. But even more unfortunately, those women that actually believe this seem to lack the critical thinking skills to understand that not all men are the same.
When he says he sees wifey material, you need to hear that he sees you're easy to exploit.
What's really sad is there seems to be an ever-increasing number of women that will try to find any way to try to make themselves out to be a victim.
A man who sees you as wifey material is planning for you to have a nice long life of cleaning his dishes, washing his socks, and getting on your knees whenever he wants you to.
Some really do try, don't they?
As I recently heard a man say online, you may not be feeling so well, but your mouth still works. That's how they see us. That's what wifey material is. Wifey material is an insult.
Take a lesson. That is how prejudice starts. Someone takes one thing that apparently a rather uneducated individual said and applies it to an entire population. That's exactly how that happens.
You can fuck the feminism right out of her.
Really, it's always interesting to see someone with such delusions of grandeur that they believe that them performing one specific act would be enough to change a woman's mind in regards to them believing that men and women are equal, have equal rights, and should be treated as equals. My goodness.
Doesn't matter how long she's been feminist, how long she's been vegan, how long she's been lesbian even. Every woman has that factory reset button.
Well, wasn't that just something? I mean, it's not every day, after all, that we not only get to see such a demonstration of hubris, but also a lack of education coupled with blatant misogyny. That someone could actually believe that they are so good at one particular thing that could actually change the minds of women when it comes to their fundamental beliefs, in addition to the orientation that some women happen to be born with. Where does a person find that much hubris? It's actually quite astonishing, really.
I don't know what this man's talking about. I don't even know if this man's had breakfast. He's hungry. That's probably why he's saying this.
And you better not be a man coming to my store with a woman, because I will make you pay. And how exactly does someone plan on making the man pay?
I will literally tell her to put her phone and her card away and make you pay.
Oh, well, that'll do it. But I've noticed that some of those very individuals who would actually say that the man should pay are actually some of the same ones that don't like gender norms and stereotypes. Unless, of course, it benefits them.